Alright everyone, hello and welcome to episode 10 of my Blackburn Rovers Football Manager 2017 Career Mode. So in the last episode, if you missed it, it was an FA Cup game against Man City, against Guardiola's Man City. We probably could have done better, should have done better. We were 2-0 down, Iheanacho was causing all sorts of problems for us, but we did bring the game back to 2-2, and then after a bit of a goalkeeping blunder in the 83rd minute by our backup goalkeeper in David Raya, who you'd think would be looking to try and impress and cement a place in the first team, we did end up losing. So negative in the sense that we're now out of the FA Cup, which kind of means that beating Man United went down the drain. But it means that we can focus most of our firepower on trying to guarantee an automatic promotion spot. So after Man City, Derby County came to Ewood Park, and to be fair, it looked like we were going to snatch a win. They didn't play too well, but neither did we, and we were dominating most of the possession. And then James Wilson popped up in the 90th minute, basically last kick of the game, and got an equaliser. And when that goal went in, I was kind of just like, here we go again. This is where we start bottling the fact that we're in an automatic promotion spot. Next up was Burton Albion. We somehow managed to win that game. We played pretty poorly, to be honest. Very fortunate to get all 3 points. Performances have been pretty poor, and getting beat at home by I wanted to say by Wigan, and I looked over to the right hand side, so Will Griggs. So yeah, we got beat by Will Griggs, who is on fire, as you can see. Considering Wigan only just got promoted from League One, a result like that really isn't good enough. But fortunately for us, other results kind of went in our way as well, which kind of kept us in the top 2. And then we just about managed a 1-0 victory over Cardiff. Liam Feeney grabbing a goal in literally the dying moments of the game. So I guess you can say that's karma for what happened with James Wilson against Derby. If we look at the table, there's a 3-point gap between us in second place and Sheffield, who are in third place. But again, with so many games left to be played, honestly, anything can happen. There's only a point between us and Newcastle as well. So if we do find some decent form again, because at the moment what we've currently been through I don't really consider decent form because we're not really playing that well. We've been quite fortunate in areas, but in the Championship, considering how long the season is, sometimes the better teams are the ones that even when they don't play well still manage to somehow get 3 points. Up next we're up against Norwich. As you can see, we mentioned it I think in the last video as well when they were in 6th place, and I was surprised that Alex Neil hadn't been sacked yet, and as you can see he has been sacked, and they've not hired a new manager yet. They've got this Dimitri Halago guy who is currently their caretaker manager. They lost 3-4 to Ipswich, which is obviously the Norfolk derby. And under the caretaker manager, they then went on to lose against Sheffield Wednesday and drew 2-2 against Bristol. So even though Norwich are one of the best sides in this league, as you can see, they're pretty much there for the taking. So away to Carrow Road we go, and hopefully we get at least a draw. Alright then, ladies and gents, welcome to Carrow Road. So, one thing I forgot to mention as well is the fact that we have a lot of crucial players out injured. So Ben Marshall is now playing left mid instead of Craig Conway. Adam Henley's come in at left back. Charlie Mulgrew is out injured. Jason Steele is out injured. Danny Graham is out injured. Basically, the FM gods right now are trying to do everything they can to make sure we don't get that automatic promotion spot. I'm relatively confident we'll get at least a playoff spot, but you don't really want a playoff spot, do you? So, yeah, we are fielding a weakened side up against a Norwich side that haven't played too well this season, but in reality, we need to be looking to beat them. So even away from home, they've been playing poorly all season. So let's see what happens. So far, not so good. We haven't really seen much until Feeney lobs the ball forward towards Gallagher, but it does get picked up by Ilori as Houlihan finds Mulumbu, plays the ball towards Robbie Brady, and, well, that was a bit of a sitter from Robbie Brady. I was kind of expecting him to actually whip the ball in towards the striker, but he decided not to, and it makes you wonder whether Norwich will live to regret that decision. But so far, not too good, to be fully honest. I'm not really impressed with how we've done so far, but we've got a set piece as Pritchard picks the ball up, and yeah, I'm getting really sick and tired of some of these weird throw-ins that get thrown straight to opposition players. Really, really frustrating, because I mean, I understand players sometimes make mistakes, but how often do you see it in real life where your player will throw the ball directly to an opponent? But anyways, great defending from Hoban, preventing the direct ball forward, and it means we get the ball back ASAP as Jason Lowe is trying to overlap. Liam Feeney plays the ball to the middle. Sanogo set free. And that's a penalty for us, but surely that's a card for Basong. He clearly feels that was a hard... How is that not a card? To be fair, I would rather the penalty. Sanogo's finishing, even though he's top scorer, is so poor sometimes when you need it the most that he ends up missing. But Marshall should be able to tuck this one away. And he hasn't. He had a penalty against Man United, and David De Gea saved it. And I'm sorry, that was a piss-poor penalty. That's not good enough. But it seems like Houlihan's going to come off, which is kind of positive, because he is one of their better players, playmaker-wise. But, yeah, we could be 1-0 up going into half-time. We've not really played poorly, but then again, we've not played well against the Norwich side that are in poor form. So I think hopefully a bollocking now at half-time should maybe try and wake him up a little bit. And we'll see what happens. One of the issues with Adam Henley as well at left back is the fact that he's right-footed. So that's not really great. Obviously makes life a little bit difficult for him. Corey Evans, Liam Feeney, not feeling too fresh right now. It's been a bit of a boring game to be honest, but you know, what can you do? Danny Guthrie's not played in a while. Stick him on. He's got the technical ability to perhaps try and make a difference. So we'll see whether or not he can find a killer pass to try and re-unlock a defence somewhere. 70th minute, not really seeing much, and we probably need to try and change something now. The question is, we're so short on players. The question is, what on earth do we change? I'm going to move Marshall to right mid. Bring on Anthony Stokes as a striker, and I'm going to move Yaya Sanogo up to become a wide target man, and we're going to try and exploit our left flank and see if we can get the ball to Sanogo to try and get that ball further in towards the final third. And it looks like the game's just going to end 0-0. It's going to be a really boring game. I'm not too disappointed with a draw, because I think it still leaves us in second place. It does, and it doesn't look like Sheffield Wednesday have won their game either. It's just disappointing, because if we had actually scored that penalty, it would have created more than just a 3-point gap between Sheffield Wednesday and us. So Norwich coming forward as Brady dribbled past one of our midfielders, and I don't think much is going to come of this. David Raya picks the ball up. Wasn't too confident putting him in goal either, particularly after what happened against Man City with their third goal. But it looks like we might be able to mount one more attack as Gallagher picks the ball up. Go on, lad, whip it in. Whip it in. Oh, God. They should have played the ball back to the right back. But there it is, full time. Bit of a poor episode. A bit of a poor game. But this is the thing. We have been playing poorly, but we're still racking up points. Even when we're playing poorly, we're still not losing. We're getting draws. So if I just calmly tell them they weren't good enough, they'll understand that. We're still second. I'm not sure whether or not we can still chase Newcastle for the title. I know there's only 3 points between us and much can change, but their squad is just so bloody good. We're not going to play them again. We've already played them twice, obviously. We beat them 3-1, and we lost against them just before Christmas. So we've got a tough run of games coming in. Preston, bottom of the table, no excuse not to win that one. Then we've got Brighton, who are going to be fighting for a playoff spot. They're a pretty good side as well, so I'll be happy with a draw coming out of that one. Reading, mid-table, looking for the win. But I think as long as we can get wins in games where we really should be winning, and try and remain as unbeaten as possible. So, like, beat Preston, beat Barnsley, beat your Bristols, beat your Brentfords, you know what I mean? Villa's going to be a very tough game. We'll make the next episode against Brighton, simply because that Norwich game was so boring. So I'll make it up to you guys. Not really my fault, but what can you do? I probably could have done more to try and win the game, but sometimes, you know, just can't be bothered. But if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, this was a bit of a poor episode. I'm really sorry, guys. Go check out the other episodes if you've not already seen them. If you're watching this episode, I presume you have seen the previous episode. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, the next episode will have come out and we'll have more goals, because that's kind of what we've done well this season. So until next time, remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and see you in the next episode. Change of plan. I went to edit the Norwich video, and obviously because it was really boring and a 0-0 game, the video ended up being, I think, under 10 minutes long. So I know I said Brighton would be the next live com, but I completely forgot. And I was too busy jumping out of my seat when Akpan got that 85th minute winner. Unusual goal scorer, but hey, it gets the job done and it still leaves us in second place. It really is squeaky bum time now with Derby only 2 points behind us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to live com the Reading game and just stick it on the end of the Norwich game. But you'll know that because you're kind of watching this and you'll have seen the Norwich game in the same video, but it's obviously a bit different for me. Sorry, that's confusing. Okay, so after the Norwich game, I said that Preston really was going to be a must-win, not just because of the fact that obviously it's kind of a derby, but because Preston are bottom of the league. But despite our dominance, we were all over them. Adam Henley gave away a dumb penalty. I find that in the latest updates, in the latest FM update, sorry, players have been giving away penalties when it comes to like pushing a player in the box when your opposition are just whipping the ball into the box from a free kick. It's really annoying because it doesn't look like anything wrong's happening. It just kind of seems like your opponents get a random penalty. Starting to regret the penalty that Ben Marshall missed against Norwich. But as you can see, we've really struggled to score more than one goal per game ever since Danny Graham got injured, as opposed to like earlier on where we'd regularly score 3, 2, etc, etc. So in games where we do end up conceding one goal, it's tough when you basically haven't scored more than one goal yourself. You always end up drawing. But like I said, I'd rather be on an unbeaten run. I'd rather draw than lose. So, yeah, drew 1-1 to Preston, not happy with that. Beat Brighton 1-0, and now we're up against Reading. Yap Stams Reading. Alright then, Blackburn against Reading. We take a quick look at the league table. As you can see, we're still second in the league, but if we lose this game and Derby win, they still won't leapfrog us, but they'll be on the same amount of points as we are. We should still have more goal difference than them, but realistically speaking, I really need all 3 points. I need to try and create a gap between them and us, especially when you consider that Reading are 11th. Fortunately for us though, players are starting to slowly come back from injury. We've now got Jason Steele back in goal. We've now got Charlie Mulgrew back. Danny Graham's on the bench. A player we've really missed is Craig Conway, and I guess there's a reason why he's got a highest average rating and he's gotten 5 assists this season. It was a shame that Danny Graham was out injured as well, because he's had 8 assists to his name so far this season. So they're really the main reasons as to why we've struggled recently and had this dip in form. But like I said, within this dip of form, we've been unbeaten, so I can't really moan too much about that. And let's hope that we can find that extra bit of quality that we desperately need to beat Reading. What a clearance from Cooper as Gallagher picks the ball up. Hendry shoots. Is it going to fall to that player? Not quite sure who that player was, but now we're in trouble as it looks like Reading are going to counter-attack from our set piece. They find Behrens out on the right wing, and surely he's going to whip the ball in, and what a miss from Mendes. We've just gotten away with murder there. The fact that Mendes missed that. Hope Akpan's now injured, which isn't really great, which means our long growing list of injuries in this crucial point in the season continues to grow. So we're going to sub on Northern Irishman and Corey Evans. We look at the match stats on the top left-hand side of our screen, really, to be honest, guys. We've been completely dominant. But despite that, we're just struggling to find goals at the moment. I just don't know why. Like I said, Conway's gone, Graham's gone. They were our two main players up until a month or so back, who were the main creators of the mass majority of our chances. And quite simply, they haven't played with us in a long time. So now we've got to rely on other less technically gifted players to try and carve out assists for us. But let's see what one of our well, I was going to say one of our decent... Oh, here he is. Decent technical players can do in Ben Marshall. How is that offside? Oh, it was Ben Marshall that was offside. I did think Ben Marshall kind of looked offside. I was wondering, how's Sam Gallagher offside? But hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Again, it kind of just feels like, yeah, sure, Yaya Sanogo's got 21 goals so far this season, but he's... Ever since Danny Graham got injured, he's not been knocking him in consistently, and that's really frustrating for me. So Elliot Bennett plays a ball to Mulgrew. That was a shocking pass. As you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to find Marshall down that right-hand wing where he can cause problems. Bennett finds Evans, who finds Gallagher, who tries to play the ball out wide towards Marshall. It was a really poor pass, and we've got the ball in their half. We can apply pressure onto them. We've got to keep this alive. Feeney picks the ball, but that's a great tackle from Mazzarani. But we've not got any players fighting for it. Yes, we do now in the form of Evans. Bennett on the ball. Someone clearly is trying to find Marshall down this right-hand wing. We finally find him. Can he get the ball in the box? And Sanogo's done it again. He's missed yet another sitter so far this season. And I'm really starting to worry that his sitters that he's missing are going to end up costing us automatic promotion. We look at the league table. Derby look like they're potentially losing at the moment. Yeah, they're losing to Fulham 3-1, so that's probably set in stone. But it does look like Sheffield Wednesday have leapfrogged them. Right, they're 2-2 with Rotherham. So, I'll tell you what, if the scores stay like this, then I'll be more than happy come the end of this game. But we cannot afford to lose no matter what. It's time to make some tactical changes. We've struggled for creativity. Ben Marshall's been decent at right back, so I'm not going to try and move him up to right mid. Do I take a gamble and stick on a more offensive left back? I don't think so because of his 77 match sharpness. If I am to change anything, Feeney would probably be the player I look to change. The problem is we've not really got a player who can play out on the left like that. So we really are left in a tough scenario, and I'm starting to regret not bringing more players in January. Alright, so what I've gone for is I've decided to bring on Anthony Stokes and stick him over on that left-hand side of the pitch. Not an out-and-out winger, can't really play there, he's more of a striker, but he's an offensive player, and a goal is what we need right now. We've won so many games in this final bit of the season by grabbing a goal in the final 20 minutes. And we've missed yet another sitter. No idea how Ali El-Habsi saved that. And knowing our luck now, Reading are going to grab a goal. This is going to be daylight robbery if Reading manage to steal something from this game. Steele plays the long ball out to Bennett, who heads the ball on, but unfortunately that's just not good enough, and he's got to surely keep on pressing the Reading players. Swift picks the ball up in midfield, who plays the ball towards Behrens after linking up with Fields. Behrens is basically just walking through our midfield until Jason Lowe finally gets a foot in and wins the ball back. And this is Anthony Stokes now, newly subbed on. You can see the energy he's got in him as Bennett plays through Sanogo, but Sanogo's going to miss. He can't finish from here. He can't finish from there. And that's another opportunity just wasted. We've had so many chances to win this game, and surely Anthony Stokes is going to find the back of the net. And that's another clear-cut chance gone down the drain. Let's take a quick look at the league table. Are we going to regret not finding... Fortunately, the other results have gone have gone our way. Unlike some of the other games recently where we struggled to score, we actually carved out a lot of opportunities, which is nice and positive. But at the same time, we've still got to bear in mind that we're trying to chase Newcastle. Newcastle still have a game in hand. If they win that one, that pretty much guarantees them the title, I think, this late on in the season. And if we'd managed to win there, then we'd have been on 76 points. So irregardless of where that would have put Newcastle, that would have created a 6-point gap between us and the playoff spots. And unfortunately, the situation we're in now still means we could... All it'll take is one poor result somewhere here that could end up being the difference between us ending up in the playoffs. And we really do only have ourselves to blame, or injuries to blame. Norwich, we should have won that if Ben Marshall had scored his penalty. Norwich didn't really trouble us defensively. Against Preston, again, we dominated. We gave away a stupid penalty that time. And against Reading, you guys saw it for yourselves. I've got no idea how we didn't find the back of the net. And we really are starting to miss Craig Conway and Danny Graham, I think. Danny Graham's fit, but he needs time to recover his form. So is a bottle job going to happen? I would consider it a bottle job, to be honest. I would consider us having bottled it if we can't... if we do fall into one of the playoff spots, one of the playoff positions, because I'm pretty sure we've been in the top 2 consistently pretty much for most of the season. I know there's a way to see this, but I've got no idea how to see it right now. So, sorry about the poor Norwich game with no goals. Sorry about the poor Reading game with no goals. But it's tough for us at the moment, and I don't know whether we're gonna cement that automatic promotion spot or not. But until next time, thanks for watching.